with a destiny. Got purpose and zest, you see. Books, business, and accessories. She walks in favor and she's blessed indeed. She keeps her head and her heels high, and her limit soars beyond the sky. If it's purpose she's pushing, you've tuned in with Table Talk with a Diva. Why? Join in, it might free ya. Hey, hey. And if you feel it down, come in. The enemy he's trapped won't win. For God has given you vision, and in the end you shall win. Hey. Table Talk with a Diva. Why? Join in, it might free ya. Hey, hey. And if you feel it down, come in.
I am going to say honor. Honor.
Oh, honor. Okay.
Honor, yes.
Oh, okay. And the second one, I would say parents.
Love.
I felt that one. Yeah.
Love.
Okay. So those are the words, and we always do an icebreaker here at Table Talk because words are important. So I've got to say that again, and being mindful and more conscious and more cognizant of what I speak out of my mouth. I know that words are important. We can either speak life or we speak death. And because I am such a positive individual, I believe in speaking positivity and not negativity, because misery loves company, and I ain't got time for none of that. So that's where the words came from. But I felt that when I said parents, you said love, that's everything for me. My parents was everything to me. I know your parents was everything to you. So which brings us here this evening. So I want you to tell them a little bit about who Tracey is before we get into the full conversation. Who is Tracey Jones?
Tracey Jones is a child of God. So glad to be back with you, Pierre. But I am just a person who loves God and a person who wants to help people. I think I'm just a helper. I think God put me on this earth to not only sing his praises, but to help his people. And so on this journey called life, your test becomes your testimony. And so I have been a living witness of telling my testimony wherever I go, whatever that testimony may be. I've had plenty, but never ashamed to share what God is and who he is in my life and how he has brought me to the place where I am now and to be the person and the woman that you see today. So I am just grateful. My word for this year is grateful. I have a lot to be grateful for.
Yes. Beautifully said. Yes, you are grateful. And it shows in your actions, in your words, your demeanor. So I am grateful for you and how you express love to everyone. So that is definitely a blessing for me to be a part of that. So thank you very much for that. So let's talk about Alzheimer's. And I am aware that this is not the month for Alzheimer's, but because I have several friends that have been really going through and getting the call between my prayer group, Awaken Destiny, and our community about seniors and family members passing away. And it's so prevalent, more so than ever. And I've experienced it somewhat, with my mom. But it's not the month, but it's like it was on my heart so heavy. And I said, you know what? I'm going to reach out to Tracey and bring her on and see if she could come on and share some information, little nuggets for concerning Alzheimer's and dementia. So that's why we're here. So I'm clear this is not the month. It's not Alzheimer's Awareness Month, but on Table Talk, it is. So that's
it's
why
always the month for
we're
Alzheimer's, because people are always going through it.
going
It
through.
never dies. And so, yes,
Yes,
every
yes.
month, every day.
Even, and I'm telling you, it's just kept coming and coming up and coming up. And I'm just like, oh God. I said, so we missed it. We had something else going on that particular month, but I said, I've got to get her on. I got to get her on. So let's talk about Alzheimer's. How did you even begin your journey to experience and witness what takes place and what transpired?
My journey started back in 2007. My father got Alzheimer's. I knew nothing about Alzheimer's, what it was, what it did, how was I supposed to handle it. And I was all over the place. My dad had a stroke, went to the hospital, and it went downhill from there. A lot of times Alzheimer's starts from having a stroke or heart attack, or something may bring it on, or bad health may bring it on. Well, the stroke is what brought my dad's on. And so that started not only my journey with Alzheimer's with my father, but it also started me to say, okay, it was so bad. I said, I have got to figure out what this is, or I'm not going to make it. I've got to go and get knowledge of what this is and how to handle it, or I'm not going to make it. And when I say not going to make it, I'm going to physically die. This was so hard for me. And so I said, God, I've got to go and learn about this disease. So if they don't hear anything else that I say today, you have to go and learn about this disease. You cannot go in this blindly and think I'm going to be okay. You need to get help. You need to get support, and you need to be knowledgeable so that this journey is already going to be hard, but it makes it easier when you're knowledgeable about the journey. So as my dad was going through Alzheimer's, I was learning at the same time. First thing I learned was you cannot kill yourself. You have to have self-care. Yes. That is the biggest thing out of this whole journey, and the hardest thing that you will learn, but you have to have self-care. What do I mean by that? You have to take care of yourself. I took all the care for my dad. I went to the doctors. I was going to the nurses. I was going to the nursing home. I was doing this. I was going to the hospital and got sick myself because I'm running myself to death trying to take care of him. And I'm no good if I'm not healthy enough to see about him. Absolutely. So that is what started my journey with Alzheimer's. And so I said, okay, let me learn about this because this is heart-wrenching. It's heart-wrenching for me to watch him go through it. And he didn't understand what was going on, what was happening to him. And then it started to affect my family. My mom, my brothers, it started to affect them. So not only does it affect the person that you're caring for, it affects the whole family.
Yes.
So it is a journey that you definitely want to have knowledge about. So I did. I sought out Alzheimer's.org. It is an organization that specifically sees about Alzheimer's, talks about Alzheimer's, dementia, the different types of dementias, and gives you knowledge and information. And 24/7, you can give them a call with any questions, any problems. If you want to know anything, go to their website and it is available to you. So that is what helped me through this journey with my father. 7 years he lived before he passed in 2012. Then my brother got sick the same year and with kidney disease, and he passed away 8 months later. So my dad passed away in February. My brother passed away in October. So it all happened the same year, 2012, 8 months apart. Then I figure, okay, I'm done. It's good. Then my mother comes down with Alzheimer's, and she just passed away last year. She lived 5 years. And so that was another journey. The other thing about Alzheimer's is it's never the same. So you can't say, oh, I'd have been through that one time. I know how to get through it. Nope. It could be a whole different experience with another loved one. So you can't treat them the same. My mother came down with Alzheimer's because I listened to myself and did not do what I did with my dad. I handled it better. I took care of myself, made sure I was taking care of my mother. It was an easier transition for me. Very hard anyway, because that's my mom, and we love our moms. But I was able to see my mom through until the Lord decided to take her. So I'm not a doctor, don't have a degree as a nurse or anything, but I do have the experience of taking care of 3 loved ones who kind of went through this process. And so that entitles me. I definitely don't want to hold it to myself. There are so many people suffering with this disease, or don't even know that they're suffering with disease, and the caregivers don't know what to do. And so I am here to only offer support and knowledge to help you through the process. And so that's my story. It was a long journey, and I made it through it. My parents are now up with the Lord. They're not suffering anymore. They are at peace. And so now I'm at peace.
So let me ask you, when you first started, what were some of the signs that you knew something different was happening with your dad besides the stroke? What were some things that was going on that you experienced?
So there are some warning signs that you can kind of tell that something is not right. We all have that intuition when you live with somebody, or if you be around somebody all the time, you can kind of tell when something's different or something has changed. And memory is like the first thing that they start having issues with. We all, as we get older, will have slight issues with our memory. That's all a part of aging, and that's all normal. But it becomes a little excessive and becomes a little more than what your normal just. Have you ever walked into a room and be like, dog, what was I coming here for? And you'd be like, I cannot remember. So that happens. That comes with age. That happens to all of us. But there are 10 warning signs, and I'll go over those warning signs with you because it is very important to kind of be aware of these signs. So if you see them, you'll be like, aha, she told me about this. So pay more attention. My signs came from my mom's friends saw it first. So the people who are with your loved one the most will probably be the first one to call you and say, hey, I noticed your mom or your dad or your loved one is doing this or this or this, and they don't normally do this. So you'll see those signs, or somebody will tell you that's closer to them. They'll probably call you and say, hey, I've noticed this. Or if you're close, you'll start noticing a change. One of the changes would be memory loss. I just spoke of that. The memory loss that disrupts the daily life. And they'll start like repeating the same info. They'll forget information. They'll forget their keys. Now, you may forget your keys one time, but every day you don't know where your keys are. Or if they start repeating the same thing over and over again, if they seem confused a lot, like where they are or what the day is, what the time is, or they have to keep asking you the same questions over and over again. Another one is challenges in planning or problem solving. Like they'll forget how to pay their bills. My mommy eventually was like, she was forgetting to pay her bills. And so they were calling me saying, hey, your mom's bills are due, your mom's bills are due. So they'll forget how to pay bills, or forget how to make a cake, which is something they normally would do. But now all of a sudden they don't remember, how to make a cake or how to make their favorite food. Also in concentrating, they don't concentrate really. Their concentration is very off. And so these are things that you will notice right off because it's a big difference. It's a big difference from, and I noticed these things in my mom. So when her friends called me, I said, okay, let me start going around more often so that I can see these changes myself. And yes, those changes were there. Something else is they'll have trouble understanding visual images, or they have vision problems. A lot of people who have Alzheimer's start to lose their vision. So that's another sign that something may be going on. Now, all of these signs doesn't necessarily mean, oh my God, they got Alzheimer's. They may have other underlying conditions, diabetes, high blood pressure. There's a lot of other diseases out here that it could be. But these are some of the things that you will see if your loved one is having some of these issues. And these are just like warning signs. Another one would be speaking. They, cannot think of their words, or will start a sentence and just cannot finish or get real frustrated real easy. That they'll get frustrated really, really easy, and they can't kind of pull it back together. So you'll notice that they'll misplace things, like I said, the keys, their earrings, or they'll replace. My dad, he went and got the remote control, Pierre, took the remote control outside, and then walked back in and asked me where was the remote control. So it's stuff that's very drastic. You're like, that don't sound right. So if you start seeing things like that, you may want to say, I may need to have, go and have them tested and see what's going on with them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I will say when my mother started and she had a brain tumor, the doctor said that was there for at least 10 years minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And for a reason, they never caught it. She was having seizures, so she was always going to the doctor. She was on medication, but from the brain tumor, as it grew, it was, definitely causing a problem with her memory. And I noticed she was getting frustrated. She was getting frustrated. It's like she wants to say something. It's just like, girl, I don't know. I can't remember what I was going to say. But anyway, and then then it comes back. And so then as it got a little bit stronger, and I'll tell you, one day when I was standing there, I went home to be with her for about a month. And this is a couple of months before she passed away. And I'm standing at the foot of the bed, and all of a sudden she's looking out of the window, and she's just in this blank stare, just looking out the window. And then all of a sudden she started talking about a bus. Did you see the bus and all those people on the bus? And so because my heart was just broken and I saw, her transitioning like that, I just agreed with her. And so the nurse from hospice said, you're doing exactly right. You just agree, because you don't want to frustrate her, even more, just trying to correct her, because it's not going to change anything at that point.
It makes it worse, actually.
Yeah. So she was like, don't frustrate her, because one sibling was trying to do that, and it would frustrate her till she would be so angry and mad. And I'm just like, we don't have to do that.
I always say, if it's not hurting them or hurting you or anyone else, let them do it.
Let it go.
One lady was so frustrated, and she said her mom she just wanted to get online and look at this $5 that she had in her account. And I talked to this lady over the phone. Somehow we got to talking about Alzheimer's, and she did not know what to do with her mom. And so she began to tell me about how her mom just always want to log in and look at this $5. She only have $5 in there. I don't understand why. She just want to keep looking at this $5. It's just $5. She's just so frustrated. And I said, ma'am, let me help you right here.
Okay.
If that gives your mom peace and you peace, let her look at it all day long. Let her keep logging in. Let her do it, because you have to be where they are. She's not going to come where you are mentally. You have to be where she is mentally. And so you kind of just go along with whatever it is she says. Now, let me explain to you what dementia is so that you can kind of understand their mental capacity. So dementia, and so dementia it affects the memory, it affects the thinking and their behavior. So it leads to the nerve cell death and the tissue loss throughout the brain, which in turn shrinks the brain. Which if your brain is not thinking properly, if your brain cells are dying, that means you're going to have a lack of speech, maybe a lack of behavior, a lack of attitude. You'll have issues in your brain, lack of memory. You'll start having those issues. Those brain cells do not come back. Once they're dead, they're dead. And so that's why Alzheimer's dementia can get worse. As brain cells die, the brain gets worse. So therefore, the condition starts to get worse. So look at it like this. Dementia is the name of the disease. There are different types of dementia. Alzheimer's is the main type. More than 80% of the people that you talk to are going to have Alzheimer's. Dementia is the umbrella. Under that umbrella, you have Alzheimer's, you have Lewy body's dementia, you have frontotemporal dementia, you have Huntington's disease dementia, you've got mixed dementia, you've got Parkinson's disease. You have all of these different dementias that can affect your loved one. Now, how do you find out if your loved one has one of these dementias or has dementia? You will go to a neurologist is who you can start with, and they can do testing on your loved one to see if your loved one definitely has one of these dementias. But that's just an overview of how dementia works. So you hear people say dementia, Alzheimer's. Well, dementia is the disease, and Alzheimer's and all those others fall up under the dementia umbrella.
That is such a heartbreaking experience. I mean, there's so many things, and I guess my fear actually became my reality as yours was as I got the call about my mom having the brain tumor and that she was, eventually going to pass away from it because she wasn't strong enough to have the brain surgery or either go through her back to have the back surgery because she wasn't mobile to do rehab that was needed after those type of surgeries. And so she just began to lose the weight and different things started happening. And so my fear, the biggest fear I experienced was I didn't want to go home and she not know who I was. So every trip I was on the road, me and my daughter, me and my family, my husband, we're getting down the highway. I'm coming. And just to walk in the room, I had to just like toughen up and just, put on my big girl panties. Just like, oh God, I just don't want to walk in here. And I don't know what state she's going to be in. And so that was always the biggest fear, is to walk in. And I will say the last week, she died on a Thursday on my birthday, but on that Monday to Thursday, just trying to get the call. And I was the go-to and the hospice nurse, as she would call every week. Every day I'm calling my dad, and I was just praying that he would say that she was woke and would say something else to us. But for the last week, she could no longer speak. She could hear you, but she couldn't speak. And so to get there and her not to know me anymore, that was like the worst thing. So I can't imagine dealing with that for years. And like you had the experience of years of it. I went through a year of it. It was 3 years we got the notice, but to see them to break down, it was 8 months, and it was horrible.
Because Alzheimer's dementia, it's in stages. So you're never going to just see, oh my God, it's just severe. It will start with what they call mild symptoms. So there's mild and there's moderate and there's severe. So your mild symptoms, you may see, like we were talking earlier, the memory, is a little tainted. You will see that they can't really come up with words or difficult performing little tasks that they normally can do. That's mild. Now they still can function. They still can probably live on their own, but you'll just start seeing these little things about them that you may notice. That seems strange. When you see that, just keep an eye on it. Keep an eye and see what's going on. See if that is just a one-time incident or is that continuously happening. Then you'll get to the moderate stage. And there's no time frame. So I'm not going to say in a year you're going to be at moderate, in 2 years, because they can live 5, 10, 15 years. And the stages, depending upon your loved one, can progress quickly or can progress slowly. So then you have the moderate stage. They're forgetful, they're real moody, they're withdrawn, they don't like to get out and do social things anymore, they can't recall information, things of that nature. So you'll see more of that and more intense of that. Once you get to the severe stage, now the moderate stage is the stage they normally stay in the longest. That's like your in-between stage. They might be okay to stay by themselves. Oh, no, they're not. Every time I would think that my mom was good. Oh, okay, she's good. She can stay by herself. No, It was not. And so as my mom progressed with the disease, I progressed. So you can't stay in the mild stage and your mom is in the severe stage.
That's right.
When they progress, you progress, and each day is each day. Take each day one day at a time. You can't look 10 days, 10 months down the road. That's too much. Take one day at a time, one situation at a time, and ask God to help you. Lord Jesus, if I didn't have God through this process, I don't think I would have made it either. It was just too heart-wrenching. And then once you get to the severe stage, they can stop eating, they can stop walking, they can stop talking. You know, it is real hard on the body, and it starts to shut the organs down in the severe stage. So that's a hard stage to go through. But you can, you know, God is my everything. Going through this, God was my everything. And I used to talk to him, Piera, daily. I used to go see my mom every day. If you have to put your loved one in a nursing home, please let me tell you, that is okay. That is okay. If you have no other source, that is okay. But I would urge you, if you put your loved one in a nursing home, to go often. Be a part of their care. Talk to the doctors, talk to the nurses, be friends with the CNAs, because these are the people that are going to take care of your loved one when you're not there. When you're present and when you're more visible, I hate to say it, your loved one gets the better care. It's just, it is what it is. And so just make sure that, do not feel guilty because you've got to put your loved one in a nursing home. That's why they're there, because guess what? You still have a life. You got your work, you got kids, you got husband, you got your whole life to handle. That's why nursing homes are there. So don't feel guilty if you have to put your loved one in a nursing home. Just make sure that you're just as involved in their care and what their care looks like.
I totally agree with that. I'm so grateful that we never had to do that for my mom, but we've experienced it with other people. And my grandmother, when my mom wasn't able to take care of my grandmother before she passed away, and I remember her calling and telling me that my grandmother said, she pushed me, they hurt me, they hurt me. And my mom said, who hurt you? But she had had a stroke, so she was struggling to say what, she was getting so frustrated, but she was telling her they hurt her. So we never to this day found out exactly what. So I said that to say, as you said, make sure and show up, be a part of the care, not once every 6 months or whatever. You want to
every other day, if possible. Now, the problem with that, Piera, is because I had the same thing. So your loved one, they may say, maybe talk bad about you, or say she's taking my money, or he's beating me. That is a problem with their mental capacity. Not all the time is that true. So are you back? I saw that your camera went away. So you really have to decipher if they're telling the truth, because mentally they may be saying, you know, oh, she took my money, because my daddy used to say I was taking his money. He would cuss me out, call me all kinds of names, and said I was doing this, saying I was doing that. And God knows I wasn't. But that's how you just have, that's why I say go all the time. When you go to the nursing home, you lift up the sheets, you checking them, you checking everything, because you want to make sure that they're not being abused, or if they're saying what they're saying is or is not true. Most times it's not, but I didn't pay attention to that. I would look myself, let me see, you know, look and see if they've got bumps or if they've got any kind of bruises, not just because someone's beating them, but something may be going on with their body that maybe the CNA or the nurse didn't catch that you may catch. You know, I walked in and my dad's leg was so swollen, and I said, you all didn't see that my dad's leg was this swollen. Take him to the hospital. So you may notice some things that they may not have noticed that could very well save your loved one's life. So always be very diligent, and when you go, just don't go visit. Lift up the covers, talk to them, you know, look at their hair, in their ear. I mean, I would look at everything just to make sure that things were okay.
That's love. That's how we care. And so for me, I was willing to do whatever it took for my mom and it's like kind of because they took care of us. So, how was we not going to do the same for them? Because that's all that we knew to do because they've been there for everything. So this has blessed me really, really, again. And of course, you shared a whole lot more than you did the first time. You gave a lot, but you gave some more. And there were so many different, under the umbrella that you mentioned with dementia, the different kinds that I didn't even know, and I'm sure there may be even more than that, but you gave several. So thank you for that because, like I said, and so I'm always trying to encourage someone if you have your parents, they are living, your mom and dad, mother or father, whoever,
Love on them.
love on them.
Yes, yes.
Nothing I think that hurts my heart or grieves me more to see a child, even adult child, be so disrespectful to their parents. I'm just like, how
Yes.
can you do that?
Can you do it?
Because without them, there is no you.
They brought you
They're
here.
the reason why you're here. It's like, how can you? And I know things happen, and as parents, we're not always right because my mom wasn't always right. I'm not always right with my children. But it's like, okay, whatever it is, then we can sit down and have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
But coming on my level, you're never on my level. I was
Right.
never whatever she says. There's some things we don't like, but it still was yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
And it's just a respectful way to say that. I was never disrespectful to my mom.
Ever.
Sometimes I didn't agree with her, and I would, as a grown woman, say, "Well, mom, I respect you, but I don't agree with that view," and we would talk about it. And if I was ever upset with her, I just wouldn't call her, or I wouldn't go around her because I wasn't going to call her out her name, and I wasn't going to disrespect her as my mom. So there's a way not to be disrespectful, even if your mama get on your nerves, because I'm sure all of our moms at one time have gotten on our nerves.
Of course. Yeah. You love that. You love her through that. It's like, love him through that. You should not do that. So I just want to encourage them, and Tracey is encouraging and inspiring. Love on your parents or whoever that raised you. It may not be your biological mother or father. It may be whomever, the matriarch of your family or your auntie or your grandma, whoever that is loving on you or help get you where you are or help you become who you are today. Love on them. I just, because I didn't want my mom to ever feel, and my dad to feel like they were forgotten or we're never there. There's too many of us, and we were always going to be there. So anything's going on, we show up. We show up because, like I said, Queen Esther and James babies, they know we coming about my mom and my daddies. So I just I pray that this episode has been a blessing to someone, some nuggets, some information that Tracey Jones has shared today. And she said a lot. So Tracey, tell them how they can maybe do some more research or even get in touch with you because you are an advocate for Alzheimer's. And so somebody may need to reach out to you directly. Share with you.
Yes. So support is huge. So if you don't do anything else, please, please, please get support, get help. That's what I did. Reached out to Alzheimer's Association, is alz.org. I reached out to them, became a part of their organization, and also went to their support groups. So now I am a facilitator, a support group facilitator for Alzheimer's Association. My support group meets the fourth Monday of every month at 6:30. So you can come. I will give you my email address. If you email me, I will send you the link to join us. That's going to be the fourth Monday of every month at 6:30. Come and join us. We sit and we talk about our issues, about our problems, and give out good information, good knowledge to help you go another day, because it's so important to have someone, because you feel like you're all alone. You feel like you're the only one going through it. But believe it or not, there are millions, not hundreds, millions of people that are going through the exact same thing that you're going through. That is the reason why I want to share my journey. I want to tell people, yes, you can make it. Get the knowledge, get the help, get the support, and it will make this journey a whole lot easier. So I'm going to give you my email address, and you can email me, and I will definitely send you the link so that you can join us on the fourth Monday. It's going to be Big Baby, BIGBABY 4322 at gmail.com.
Can
They
we
have a
comment? Can we get that in the comment section? I'm just reaching out to my amazing producer in the back. Can we get this in the comment, that email address, so that they can grab that in case they don't have a pen? They can always go back to the app and pull it up.
Also, the Alzheimer's organization is available 24/7, day or night. You can give them a call as well for any support or help. And that number is going to be 800-272-3900. That is the Alzheimer's organization phone number. The website is alz.org. A lot of what I share with you today is also on the website. People, please go and get the knowledge. It will save your life.
Good stuff. Good stuff. If you give that email once more, I'm not sure if he was able to catch it.
It's up there. Yeah, he put it up as Big Baby, BIGBABY 4322 at gmail.com.
Awesome, Big Baby. I appreciate you. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for getting that in the chat. We appreciate it. So it has been a blessing, a pleasure to gain a little more knowledge. I am so grateful for you. I love being connected to women influencer. And Tracey Jones, you are an influencer, honey. I love you so much.
Love you.
Thank you for sharing and joining. Once again, thank you for giving God your yes and yes to Table Talk. And we will see you guys next month, same time, same place. It's been a pleasure, Trace. We'll talk, but you have a night. And for the first person that comment in the chat tonight, I'm going to be a blessing. I want to sow one of my books, Clear Vision Through Cloudy Eyes, so I can't make out the comments or anything right now. Anyone that says hello to the Diva first, I'm going to get your information so that I can send you a book. And actually, I have two, so I will let you choose, but I'll message you personally after the episode is done. So Clear Vision Through Cloudy Eyes, I want to be a blessing. It is a part of my journey. Have some nuggets in here for you, and I pray that it will bless you. So it's
an awesome book. It's an awesome book.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I love you, girl. We'll talk soon.
Love you.
Have an amazing night.
Thank you.
Remember, if God has called you to do something, it is time to move. We are in a new season, and it's never too late. It is never too late to do what God has called you to do. Also, remember, the no's means you're one step closer to your yes. So keep moving. I want to see you win. Have a great night. Love you, love you, love you.
She's a diva with a destiny, got purpose and zest, you see. Books, business, and accessories. She walks in favor and she's blessed indeed. She keeps her head and her heels high, and her limit soars beyond the sky. If it's purpose she's pushing, you've tuned in with Table Talk with a Diva. Why? Join in, it might free up. Hey, hey. And if you're feeling down, come in. The enemy he's trapped won't win. For God has given you vision, and in the end you shall win. Hey. Table Talk with a Diva. Why? Join in, it might free up. Hey, hey.